Let's go! Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. That's what you wanted to hear, so here we are. The second sneak peek for the upcoming Enter the Phoenix or Phoenix Force Tournament update is here. And we have a pretty familiar image to go along with some very obvious text for who this is. I don't know what happened. Okay, there we go. So this one we get honestly, I think the sneak peek's a little bit cooler, not because of who it is, but we actually see like some sort of phoenix or some sort of bird there, and you can hear it, and then you see two poles with 3 slashes on each one, and the slashes are burning. Obviously that can only mean one thing. Sabretooth. No, it's Wolverine. So kudos to the sneak peek team for putting together. I think this is a much better sneak peek than the last one in terms of the quality and the fidelity of the sneak peek. The last one felt very 3D and sort of very like stock animation-y. This one feels more unique to the game, and it has a bit more flavor and a bit more of that comic feel. But I digress. It's Wolverine, baby. It's James Howlett. It's the Canadian guy. So let's go ahead and check out what's going on Twitter. Guys, the Twitter one was posted at 11 p.m. So shout out to the team for doing their job. The next contender for the Phoenix Force is a mutant. Oh, you guys love that word. Whose sharp wit will cut down any bub that gets in his way. Bub is one of Wolverine's catchphrases, so it's very obvious that this has to be Wolverine. Now, over on the forums, let's see what they say. This mutant superhero has battled through the ages, because he ages more slowly because of his regeneration factor, but does he have the power to contain the Phoenix Force? The answer is no, by the way, but it's okay. The best takes flight. Interesting way of talking about one of the worst tier 3 mutants in the game. Can the avatar of life and fire find a host in this healing mutant? Check out his fighting skills that have become even stronger through the power of the Phoenix Force. Okay, so this gives me hope, but here's the thing, and this video basically is going to turn into a rant. We've been here before, people. We have 100% been here before. Wolverine is simultaneously one of the most beloved characters in all of Marvel, and one of the most poorly executed characters in Marvel Future Fight. And the reason for that comes from the fact that he just doesn't do enough damage. Just straight up, it's always been his issue. I sort of pondered on this because I knew people would ask, and I knew you'd be wondering, Alex, or Cynicalex for that matter, but my real name is Alex. What can they do to make Wolverine better this time? Because his base look was pretty good at the time. This uniform actually was still good at the time, believe it or not. Good. He wasn't the best, but he was good. And then this was a disaster. This was a disaster. And this was almost a disaster. And that it pains me to say that, because this is one of the coolest looks for Wolverine in existence. It's so cool. And this is literally the coolest look for Wolverine in existence. Right? This looks so dope. But yet they goofed it up. And why did they goof it up? Because he just didn't do enough damage. Whether it was for PvP or PvE, he just didn't do enough damage. He can survive for a certain amount of time, right? Thanks in 100% part to his regenerative healing factor, and the fact that I think they gave him a tiny bit of damage reduction. Yeah, 15% damage reduction, but it's just not enough. It's just not enough. He doesn't have any meta effects on his skills. Stun is useless. There's literally nothing on Adamantium Blitz. There's 4 seconds of invincibility there, but that's not good enough. There's ignore, dodge, and a bit of penetration, but you can't penetrate invincibility, and invincibility is the most important thing to penetrate, because that's what invincibility obelisks and CTPs of authority use. They don't use damage, shield, or immunity, barrier, or shield. And then his 5th skill, they did give him a frenzy buff, a 15 frenzy buff, but it's not enough. It's just not enough, and his leadership's terrible, which is fine. He's not a leader, but well, but Yeah, that's basically always been his problem. That's basically always been Wolverine's problem. Despite the fact that you can cap his crit damage so easily, right? They gave him and 50% guaranteed crit rate means he's always critting. Despite that fact, and despite the fact that I gave him a CTP of rage, which is insane, he just doesn't do enough damage. He just does not do enough damage. So we'll see. We'll see what happens to Wolverine. Obviously, this is one of the coolest looks that he has ever had, and I know I just said that about the one you're looking at now, but yeah, it is still one of his coolest looks by far, the Phoenix Force Wolverine. He ends up, by the way, for those of you wondering, spoilers, just gonna throw that out there, spoilers, but he loses to Black Panther in the tournament, so he doesn't win the tournament by any means. We know Echo wins the tournament, but Phoenix Force Wolverine is really cool. He does look really, really cool, and he should be pretty strong. I don't know. I don't want to. Here's the thing. I'm trying not to overhype myself and overhype you guys this time around, because we've been disappointed so many times before with Wolverine specifically. If it were with other characters, I would have maybe a different tune. I would, you know, have more hype and less hesitation, because I don't want to hesitate, right? You don't want to have this sort of, you know, meandering sort of back and forth. But yeah, we've just been, pun intended, we've been burned way too many times with Wolverine. So I don't know what's gonna happen with this character, but really, in my opinion, it's all about, that looks really cool. It's all about the damage. It's all about the damage, because they could give him, here's the thing, they could increase his survivability and they could increase his defenses for PvP. They could do that, but that's not going to make him better for PvP. At this point, yes, you need to survive in PvP, but you also need to do damage in PvP, right? You're not going to get away with winning if you can't do enough damage, because you're just going to die. Because the other characters can heal. Like, healing, and here's the other thing. Healing is no longer rare in Marvel Future Fight. So many characters have a heal. And even though Wolverine's heal is an auto heal, right? Like, he just automatically, why can't I? Okay. He automatically heals. You don't have to press a skill to heal. Even though that's true, 5% every second. Do you know how long it takes him to heal as fast as Doctor Doom? It takes him 10 seconds. Because it's 5% every second, and Doctor Doom heals for 50% on this skill. And this skill has a 12.5-second cooldown. Do you know what that calculation means? It means Doom is almost, like, Wolverine is here in terms of healing per second, and Doom is here. They're not that far away, dude. They're not that far away. How is it that Doctor Doom can heal his body and recover almost as fast as freaking Wolverine? Right, it doesn't make any sense. On top of the fact that Doctor Doom has way higher damage than Wolverine, on top of the fact that Doctor Doom revives. So in terms of survivability, in terms of making him even tankier, making Wolverine even tankier, at this point, the healing is not even enough anymore. So if they wanted to make him better for PvP specifically, they would not only have to, like, double or triple his damage, but they would also have to increase his defenses. He would need way more damage reduction. Like, look at Icarus. Look at the power creep that we've had lately. And Wolverine's uniform is only like a year and a half old. Little bit less than a year and a half. It's not that old. It's not like years and years and years. But Icarus, look at this. He's got 4% recovery, which is only 1% less than Wolverine. And on top of the fact that he has a 30% damage reduction, which is double the damage reduction, on top of being universal, which means that he has no type disadvantage. So in my opinion, so it really doesn't matter for me where Wolverine goes, whether it's for PvE or PvP. But here's the thing, for PvE content, for World Boss Legend content, for story mode content, they just need to increase Wolverine's damage. If they increase his damage enough, then he can do it. That's all it takes. Just the one thing, right? Because his survivability is enough for World Boss Legend. Look at this. I've got 85 or 84,000 HP, and I'm healing 1% per second, right? So even if I just stand there, he can probably tank for a while. We're gonna even go against Mephisto, and we're gonna see here. We're gonna go up to stage 29 because it's combat, and we're gonna see how long he can take damage for, just because of the fact that he can heal. We're just gonna give him like whatever kind of team up, because that's, you know, what he would normally. That's normally what you would give him. Okay, and we're gonna see here what he can do. Sure. So here's the argument. Here's the understanding that I have. For PvE, I really think he just needs more damage. And again, I'm just going to be standing here. I'm not going to be moving around. I'm not going to be using iframes. I'm just going to be standing here. And we're going to see. We're going to look at the clock and see how long it takes Mephisto on stage 29 with type advantage versus Wolverine to kill Wolverine. Okay? So I think, honestly, for PvE, he just needs more damage. That's all he needs. But the thing is, and they've really leaned into Wolverine being more of a PvP character for the past, like, 3 uniforms. If they're going to make him better for PvP, they need to make him a lot better for PvP. So I think the devs need to be careful, because they actually have a lot more work cut out for them in terms of balancing if they want to make Wolverine a competitive character for PvP. And keep in mind, Wolverine is a native tier 2, double cost tier 3. He's a 1200 CCF. Is he 1200 CCF? Yeah, he is, even though he's the main character of the Epic Quest, right? So we're a minute in, and Mephisto can't kill me. So in terms of PvE, you can see that they don't do enough damage to kill Wolverine, even with his healing as it is now, with his damage reduction as it is now. But in terms of his cost, right? He costs as much as Maker. He costs as much as, you know, these other characters. So he deserves to be stronger. And when it comes to PvP, he's missing so many of the tools that's going to make him good enough for PvP. So in terms of PvP, not only does he need more damage, but he's going to need like iframe ignore, or and he's going to need more damage reduction. He's going to need, you know, blah, 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 blah. They might even want to give him a revive or increase his healing above 5%. Because like I said, healing is not really... So basically, what I'm seeing here is that he's not going to kill me. Maybe when the rage meter hits, he'll kill me. With that, we can see. But basically, the vibe I'm getting is that, you know, and I was right. My hunch was right. He's not, you know, he's not going to die in PvE. You basically have to stand here. Maybe if enough of these things stack on me. But no, he out heals them. Oh, here we go. I think enough dot damage stacking is going to kill him. There we go. It only took 2 minutes of standing still on stage 29 of World Boss Legend for Wolverine to die. So yeah, like I said, I don't think the defenses and the healing are really an issue for PvE, but they're definitely an issue for PvP. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens to him. But in my opinion, for PvE content, and that's probably where I would like to use him at this point, because I'm not really all that, you know, jazzed or hyped or plussed about PvP anymore. I would just like them to increase his damage. Obviously, I want 5 new flashy skills. Everyone does. That goes without saying. But I just want them to like triple his damage, and then we can talk, right? Because, and then the other thing about Wolverine is you can't cancel his skills. That was the other thing. So, you know, but for PvP, he's got to compete with Dr. Doom and Sentry and Luke Cage. He's gonna need a lot. He's gonna need a lot. Like if I was building him for PvP, if I was a dev and I was balancing him for PvP, I would probably bump up his healing from 5% to like 7%, maybe 8% per second. And then I would probably give him more damage reduction, and then I would give him a skill with iframe ignore. Maybe that's enough, because he has a very long iframe on 5. And of course, you still have to tweak his damage. At the end of the day, you still gotta tweak the damage. But yeah, I digress. So that's why I'm not really truly that hyped for Wolverine. I gave you guys the let's go at the beginning because, you know, if I close my eyes and I pretend like I don't know how dirty they've done Wolverine for the past few years, if I pretend that these things don't exist, then I can get really hype. But then when I know these things exist, I'm like, well, they've screwed up 3 times in a row. They've screwed up 3 times in a row. Chances are they're gonna screw up a 4th time. So yeah, we'll see. Anywho, keep it locked here for the next sneak peek. Thank you so much for watching. Hit me up down below in the comments with your thoughts. Thumbs up for Wolverine, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.